Hey everyone! Welcome to this channel if this is the first time you've been here. If you've been here before, I hope you enjoy. So today we are going to be making this character. It's Baymax. You guys, I'm sure you all know and love him. So in order to make this little guy, it's super simple, not too difficult. But here we go. We'll show you the materials first. So the first thing you'll need is a 1.9mm hook. This is what I use, but feel free to use anywhere between a 1.75 and a 3mm hook with 4-ply cotton yarn. So you'll need cotton yarn here in white, black, and red. Those are the only colors that you'll need to make Baymax. Then you will also need a pair of cutters, a tapestry, and a sewing needle. So there we go. Those are the two different needle types that you need. You don't have to use both of them. I mean, these just help for certain things. I'll probably only be using this one actually for the whole time. But yeah, so a sewing needle, you won't need pins in this one, but you will need some fiber filling, and I think that's really it. So once you've got those materials, we can get started so we can make our wonderful Baymax character. So to start off, we are going to grab some white colored yarn right here. We'll grab our needle and we will just make a magic ring. Just a normal magic ring like that. Now I'm going to show you the technique that I use for single crochet stitches, and hopefully you can do the same, but feel free to do your own way as well. Just make sure those stitches are tight, but they're not too tight either. You don't want them loose too, so you got to get that balance right. But this is how I make a single crochet stitch. I first have the yarn come underneath the hook, and then the yarn goes over the hook. And we say that that is yarn under, yarn over. So I do yarn under, yarn over for my single crochet stitches. If you want to do yarn under, feel free to do so. But I wouldn't recommend yarn over, which is what beginners tend to begin with. Yeah, so I would recommend the yarn under and yarn over. Although, feel free to do whatever you want, no problem at all. But in order to have these type of stitches, you'll need to do yarn under, yarn over. So I hope that helps you guys there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 stitches so far. We need another 3 inside this magic ring. So 1, 2, and 3, making a total of 6 single crochet stitches inside our magic ring. Keep them relatively loose but tight as well, so that as you pull the yarn right here, it's nice and flat, this circle here. Now we are going to finish each round with a slip stitch. So go into insert your hook into the very first stitch you made, make a slip stitch into the loop on the hook, and then chain 1. So that's what you're going to do at the end of each round, and make sure this is nice and flat, as you can see here. So for round number 2 now, we are going to be making increases, and an increase just means 2 single crochet stitches inside the 1 stitch space. So there we go. There's our first increase right here. Let's do another one inside this stitch space. So we've got 1 single crochet stitch followed by another. So there's our second increase, and we're going to make a total of 6 increases for round 2, giving us then a total of 12 stitches at the completion of round 2. So we're almost finished round 2 right now. We've got 1 more increase to go. Here it is, 1. Here's the increase, and now insert hook through that first stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 1. For round number 3, pretty straightforward. We're making a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, 1 and 2. So that's the pattern there that I want you to repeat a total of 6 times. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase, just like that. So repeat that now another 4 times and finish round 3 with a slip stitch and chain 1. And round 3 is now complete just like that. So for round 4, we have some spike bobble stitches to complete, and I'm going to help you through them one at a time. So we'll do this simply and slowly. Start off with 5 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you've got 5 single crochet stitches now, and at this point we are going to make a spike bobble stitch. So in order to do that, we're not coming into this space here. Instead, we're coming into the space below it, right there. And we call that the elongated stitch space, or the spike. But because this is a bobble stitch, you want to wrap the yarn first and then enter the hook into that space. Pull the yarn through, pull it up, and then pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. Now you have 2 loops on the hook. Let's do it again. Wrap the yarn, come into the same space, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. Now you've got 3 loops on the hook. Let's do it one more time. Wrap the yarn, same stitch space, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. Now we have 4 on our hook, 4 loops on the hook, and this is where we pull the white yarn through those 4 loops on the hook. And now we can continue with an additional 5 single crochet stitches. So here we go. So here's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now you can see this little leg here needs to be pushed back to the correct direction. So push it like that. Has a tendency to form inside out, so push it back out. And now we are ready to start the second foot in the same manner. So bubble spike stitch, or spike bubble stitch as we call it. Wrap the yarn, come into the elongated stitch space directly below the next stitch. Pull up the yarn and pull through 2. Wrap the yarn, pull up the yarn and pull through 2. One more time. Wrap the yarn, pull up the yarn, make sure you're always pulling it up, and then pull through 2. 4 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 4 loops on the hook, and now we're going to continue with 6 more single crochet stitches until we finish round number 4. 5 and number 6 right there, and finish in the first stitch with a slip stitch and chain 1, and then just push this foot in the correct direction. And there we go. Round 4 is now complete. For round 5, we are going to do the following. So we've got a single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase 1 and 2 single crochet stitches in the 1 stitch space. Let's do it again. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an increase. And you want to do that all the way around for round number 5, and then finish off with a slip stitch and chain 1. Okay, so for rounds number 6 and 7, you want to just complete single crochet stitches in every stitch space. So remember, for rounds 6 and 7, you're just making single crochet stitches all the way around and finishing the round with a slip stitch and chain 1. Alright, so round 7 is now complete. So round 6 and 7 are now complete here. For round number 8, you're going to do the following. We'll make a single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. So for the invisible decrease, you want to enter the front loop of the first stitch space, and then the front loop again of the next stitch space. Pull the yarn through and pull the yarn through. Let's do it again. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Front loop, pull yarn through. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, front loop, and pull the yarn through, just like that. So I want you to complete that all the way around to finish round number 8. From here, rounds 9 and 10, it will just be 18 single crochet stitches all the way around. So super easy. This is rounds 9 and 10. You'll just make single crochet stitches in every stitch space, so that's a total of 18. Finish off each round with a slip stitch and chain 1, and that's for rounds 9 and 10. Alright, so we just finished rounds 9 and 10, and we're going to start now round 11. So this is how we're going to do it. We're going to incorporate the arms now for Baymax. So we'll have 4 single crochet stitches first. 1, 2, 3, and number 4, just like that. And now we're going to do another type of spike bubble stitch, but this time we're not going in just the elongated space. We're actually going to go way further below. So we're going to do that together now. So in order to do that, we're going to wrap the yarn first. Pull this so that this loop isn't too big. Wrap the yarn. You have this stitch space, this one, and come down here. So we'll show that again a little bit later. So we're going to pull the yarn up and pull through 2. Wrap the yarn, come into the same space, pull it all the way up, and pull through 2. One more time, just to finish this off nicely. Wrap the yarn, come down into this space down here that we counted before, pull it all the way up, and then pull through 2, just like that. And then once you've got 4 loops on the hook, pull the yarn through all 4 loops of the hook. And there you go. There you've created your first Baymax arm. Now what we do from here is we are going to make 7 single crochet stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 right there, just like that. And now we're going to follow this line all the way across here. This is where we're going to enter the hook into the next stitch space down here. So we're going to wrap the yarn first. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stitch spaces below the top. Pull up the yarn and pull through 2. Wrap the yarn, same stitch space. Pull the yarn through, pull it up, and pull through 2 loops on the hook. Let's continue one more time to do that. So wrap the yarn first, come inside that same stitch space, pull it up, and then pull the yarn through 2 loops on the hook. Pull the yarn through all 4 loops on the hook, and there is your second arm now made. So now you're just going to complete the round with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 single crochet stitches, followed by a slip stitch and a chain 1, and there you go, round 11 is now complete. For round number 12, we're going to do the following: single crochet stitch first, followed by invisible decrease. Let's do it again. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. And you're going to repeat that 6 times all the way around until you have 12 single crochet stitches in the round, and finish off round 12 with a slip stitch and chain 1. For this next round, we are only going to be working in the back loops only. So you can see here we've got a front loop and a back loop. And for this round, we just want to insert the hook into the back loops. So we're going to do the following: single crochet stitch first, followed by, again, the back loop only of the next stitch space, and it will be an increase. Oopsie daisy. Back loop, and let's do an increase. So single crochet stitch, same space, single crochet stitch. There we go. So let's do that once more. Single crochet stitch first in the back loop, and then an increase. 1 and 2. And I want you to repeat that a total of 6 times to get this round back up to 18 stitches in the round. Finish with a slip stitch and chain 1. For round number 14, fairly straightforward again. We're making 2 single crochet stitches first, followed by an increase, and that's it. Just repeat that a total of 6 times, and you will now finish round number 14. So again, 2 single crochet stitches and an increase, just like that. Now feel free at this point, if you wanted to, not to finish with a slip stitch and chain 1, but to continue on in a spiral, but that's completely up to you. I'll show you the slip stitch and chain 1, but if you want to do a spiral, feel free to do that as well. Alright, so we just finished that now, and now for the next 4 rounds, so that's a total of 4 rounds, we are making single crochet stitches all the way around. So fairly straightforward from here on out. We've just got 4 rounds of single crochet stitches, either finishing with a slip stitch and chain 1 or crocheting in a spiral, and you might need a stitch marker just to help you know where to start and finish each round. So remember, 4 rounds, single crochet stitches. There are 24 in total for each round. Okay, so we've just finished those 4 rounds there of 24 single crochet stitches. Right now we have 3 rounds to go. So the first round we've got 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2, followed by an invisible decrease, just like that. One more time, 2 single crochet stitches, followed by an invisible decrease. Repeat that another 4 times to finish off this round, and then finish off either with a slip stitch and chain 1 or continue in a spiral. And there we go, finish that round. So there's only 2 rounds to go. So let's do this next round. Single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Easy done. So single crochet stitch first, followed by an invisible decrease. Remember, you're going into those front loops only of those stitch spaces. So I'll show you again. Front loop, pull the yarn through, and pull the yarn through. Repeat another 4 times to finish off this round, and then we will add some fiber fillings, stuffing into our body. And there we go. So we just finished this round, and I'm just going to chain 1, but I'll pull it a little bit more this time so we don't lose track of where we are. here's the complete body right here, and now it's time to add our fiber filling inside the body layer by layer. Don't put in too much at a time, so just a little bit at a time, and use a pair of cutters or something to just compress and condense that fiber filling stuffing as you go. So I'll let you guys fill this up to the top. Remember, layer by layer, don't just bulk it all in the one go. You want this nice and firm inside. Alright, I'll see you at the end of this. Okay, so the fiber filling is all the way inside, filled up to the top. As you can see, we've got our beautiful legs, arms, the body, and the head. And now we're just going to complete our final round just like this. Now, if you crocheted in a spiral, only make 5 invisible decreases. But if you crocheted with a slip stitch and chain 1 at the end of each round, then I want you to complete the following. And it will be 6 invisible decreases, not 5. So here's the first one. Just got to get inside that front loop a little bit better. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, and do your best not to weave in any of the fiber filling. I sometimes put my finger here just to help it push it down a little bit. Here's number 4, 5, and if you're crocheting in a spiral, you'd stop at this point and make a slip stitch in the next stitch. But if you're like me and finish with a slip stitch and chain 1, you want to make the 6th single crochet stitch. Not single crochet, invisible decrease. And then come into the very first stitch, make a slip stitch and pull the yarn and cut off about 10 to 15 centimeters of a yarn tail, just like that. And there we go. Here is our Baymax character. Let's just fix this gap at the top here. And this is how we do it, guys. So we want to come into, we want to first of all have our needle, weave the yarn through the needle, and then because we have 6, or if you crochet in a spiral, you'll have 7 remaining stitches in that last round. But all you want to do is have the needle come through the front loops of each of the remaining stitches. So just the front loops, guys, only the front loops. So come in here, here's a front loop right here. Next one. Do this very delicately as well, as best as you can. Last one. There we go, and watch this. We're going to pull this in the direction that we weaved the yarn through. So pull it now, just like that. Pull, pull, pull. Make it nice and flat. Any bumps, try and push in with your needle. And then have the needle come through the center of that gap. Anywhere it can emerge. And watch this. As you pull, you want to keep it nice and flat. Just like that. And just redirect it as you see fit. Just like that. And now we can weave in this piece of yarn by following the diagonal line of each of that stitch space. So I'm going to come across in the diagonal to make this look seamless. So you won't be able to see those woven in stitches, because if you went up or down or across, you would be able to see them. So I follow the lining of that stitch, which is usually a diagonal, and that is how I weave in the yarn to secure it in place. So we'll do one more diagonal across here. That's 3 times now. That should be fairly secure. Don't pull this too tight either, and then we'll chop the excess yarn just like that and push any excess back inside the body to hide. And there we go. So we've just completely finished the body of our Baymax character right here. Now we're going to add the eyes and put on the little heart, and then we will have finished him. So what you will do here is just cut yourselves about a 30 to 40 centimeter piece. I think I have about 50 centimeters here of black yarn, 4-ply black yarn. And then we're just going to mark with a little pin. You don't need to, but we're marking here. You can see we're going to be working between rounds 16 and 17 here. So between rounds 16 and 17, this is where we're going to place the eyes. Alright, so you just enter the needle through any stitch, it doesn't matter where, but you want to have it come out where the pin is located. So here is where we will place our first eye, and it's kind of in between the 2 arms, as you can see here. So pulling all the way until you'll leave about maybe 5 centimeters worth of yarn at the end there. And all we're doing at this point is you're coming directly below that stitch into the next stitch space, and then directly coming back out where you entered into. So have a look at this. We're just going to pull this just like that, and you don't need to pull it super tight either. And we're going to do it again and again. So this is the second time. Let's have a look at what we look like. And I'm going to focus it so it pushes more towards this side at times. So I'll just direct it with my nail. So there's one. This time I'll have it come around this side. So same, this is the third time I've gone inside these 2 stitch spaces. Oopsie. We just don't want to tangle this up. There we go. I'm directing it over to this next side as well. So here's my finger and just point it there. Number 5, I'm going to direct it to the other side. So this is the 4th time now, I believe, that I've gone through the stitch space. Just like that. And maybe we can do one more time around the other side. And then I'm going to enter my needle in this stitch space and then come out where the pin was. And just direct it to this side. You can always direct where the placing of the yarn goes. So have a look. Nail here or finger there. And there we go. There's the first eye right there. So in the same way, you're going to do this one, come directly under this stitch space and just direct the eye. And once you're done, we will start making the line. And we won't do that with 4-ply yarn. We'll do that with 1-ply yarn, which I'll show you in just a minute how to get that. This will be the 5th time that I'm coming under here. So I'm just going to emerge my needle where this yarn tail is here for the 5th time that I've wrapped that. And I will just direct my yarn in the position that I want it to end up in. So there we go. So there is my second eye right here. Let's just make it a little bit neater. So I'm going to try and adjust it with a needle, just bring it out so it looks like the second eye is done there. And there we go. So there are the 2 eyes, and then just at the back here, all you will do, don't pull it so tightly, all you'll do is just make a quick knot, and then with that second double knot, you'll pull this a little bit tighter. You can see how I pulled that second knot a lot tighter. I'll chop the excess yarn, and I will push the yarn into the head to hide. And I'll do that using a needle, or you can use the back of a hook. Completely up to you how you want to do that there. There you go. Okay, so the eyes are complete. Now we just need the little piece of string coming across there. So what we'll do, we'll use the same piece of yarn, and all you'll do is grab 1 ply of the 4-ply yarn and take it out. There you go. So now you've got 1-ply yarn. So this is great. But what you will need is a slightly sharp needle. So this needle is already sharp, so I'm happy with this one. If you've been using a tapestry needle with that blunt end, this is the point where you'll need a type of sewing needle. So here we go. I'm going to just insert my needle anywhere, and it's going to come out. I'm going to weave it through a tiny bit of yarn over here, just a tiny bit of black yarn, and it comes out at the middle of the eye. So you can see how it doesn't hit a stitch space. It's coming in the middle of that stitch space, which is exactly why I need a sharp needle, because if you have a blunt end, you won't be able to get through this space here. You'll only be able to get through these stitch spaces. So that's the reason why I suggest a sharp needle here. And then over here on the other side, you're just going to grab a tiny bit of yarn, of that black yarn, to weave it through. Then press your needle in, have it emerge through this stitch space over here, and pull it together just like that. Keep it as straight as possible, just like that. And there we go. So at the end here, just in the same way we did before, we are going to tie this in a double knot. First one is going to be relatively loose, not too tight, and then the second one is going to be a lot tighter. Then you'll chop the yarn there, grab your needle, and push in this excess yarn to hide it inside the head. And there we go. So we've made now Baymax's eyes connected with that line that you see, and we just have the heart to go. So let's make this heart now. Okay, so we're doing the heart again, but across 1 stitch space this time, just to make it a little bit tinier, which I think it will suit Baymax anyway. So we're coming around here, and then I'm coming in 1 stitch space, but towards a diagonal. Needle goes through, comes back in that point, and then comes down where you entered the yarn in the first place. So coming through that point there. And there we go, there's our first point. Now the second point of a heart, we can go anywhere. I might come around here, but I won't put my needle there just yet. It first of all has to come at the base here, and then it comes out where I want that point. So I think a good diagonal place will be about, let's have a look, maybe right there. Make sure your yarn is facing the right way, don't get it caught up. So there we go, it's facing the right way there. Needle comes through, pull it nice and tight, but not too tight either. Then it will enter that same stitch space at the top. Pull the yarn, and there is a smaller, and I think cuter heart right there. It just fits a lot nicer right there. So across the one stitch space is probably what I would recommend, but if you want to have a bigger heart, make a bigger heart across the 2 stitch spaces. Alright, so we chop the yarn now, grab our little hook or needle, push in that red as best as we can. Let's try and hide it a little bit better. So coming here now, I'll have my needle come through a different end and just kind of wiggle around the surface of that first red to hide it completely. And there we go, there's our heart. Here's our Baymax. We've got 2 Baymaxes actually right now, which is wonderful. And you can add your very own keychains to these, or whatever you want to do. Have a yarn chain. If you're making a yarn chain, connect at the top, chain 50, connect in the same spot, and tie in those 2 ends to have that yarn chain. And there you go, guys, there is your mini Baymax. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one for another tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and leave a comment on this video. Bye guys.